it was only a matter of time before I did an episode called Do Your Om Thing. So here we go, do your Om Thing. It's the best and most challenging cue that I give in yoga. The best because it's very me. It's a play on words and I love puns. Anyone who spent any time with me or attended my classes know that I'm always looking for a little wordplay. And I've inherited this trait from my dad. At family meals, we'll be trying to best each other with our wordplay. And my mum, who, like most mothers, is proud of everything that her kid does, she'll look at me with a little disappointment. And that just makes the whole experience even funnier. Doing your Om Thing is the most challenging because this personal joke makes me a little vulnerable, right? Whenever you crack a joke, you're putting yourself out there and hoping to make people laugh. It's a challenge for me as well as my students. We'll be in a busy class and I'll be showing different variations of a pose, like how to wrap your arms around yourself or press your head up your asana and saying things like, choose where this goes, you're in control. And if you don't fancy any of this, do your own thing and rest back in child's pose. Now, some classes I've been teaching weekly for 2 years. Students have got to know me and each other really well. We formed a community and finally they feel able to take in these words, to do their own thing. And they will move into child's pose, maybe instead of playing around with an arm balance or whatever I'm trying to get people to do. The play on words is witty, and it is witty. And laughter also boosts heart rate and the production of certain antibodies, which strengthens our immune system. So when you're feeling a little stronger in your immune system, you can move out of fight or flight mode. So you don't need to worry about your basic needs getting met now. You're feeling more relaxed. And that's why when you're on holiday, you'll often get all these heady ideas of how you're going to make overnight oats with matcha and blueberries when you're home. And you get back, you buy all those kilner jars, and then you don't make the overnight oats. Because, you're just straight into survival mode again. And that's not a criticism. I just wanted to give you an example of what the fight or flight system feels like. So I've made you laugh either with the do your own thing line or something else in class, and our immunity is rising. When people laugh, they relax. You can't laugh when you're tense. I was pretty tense for 2 years and I never laughed. It was a great anti-aging treatment though. I literally have no laughter lines. But in nature, laughing is a luxury. If you're struggling for survival, that's one of the first things that's going to get taken off the table. So when you're relaxed, you're going to start to feel more confident and more sure of yourself. The confident students will start to modify postures and take a rest when they need. Now this is really beautiful to see because it's far too easy to blindly follow directions from a teacher to your own cost. I did that years ago. I was learning to do drop backs, which is where you stand in Tadasana, so just stood at the front of your mat. You inhale, arms up, exhale, start to bend back, and eventually your hands land on the earth behind you. I had no business being in that pose, and sorry, but nor does anyone. Where in the human repertoire of movement have you seen that be useful? Oh, I've dropped my wallet. Let me just bend over backwards to pick it up. It's madness. Of course you wouldn't. Anyway, I found myself practicing drop backs because the type of yoga I was practicing at the time was very serious, very repetitive, and had the expectation that we'd complete these postures before we were ready to move on to the second series. And in this style of teaching, there wasn't really space to do your own thing, and nor did I have the confidence to do my own thing anyway. I love seeing students now rocking out to their poses, but sometimes I do have to bring the class together and reclaim a little bit of my place as a teacher and move us all into the next sequence. Life and yoga, although For me, they're like the same thing. I can't really separate them. So life starts to get problematic and dull when we fail to look within, when we lose touch of our own sense of what feels right and wrong. When we feed ourselves a diet of ideas about success and happiness that other people have cooked up, then our genuine character begins to starve and we make weak choices about what we bring into our lives and then put out in the world. The good news is that you are never too late to become the real you. That's what the planet needs in this moment. 100% you. I'm the happiest I've been because I do my own thing. I exit group chats in favour of meeting up one-on-one. Group chats can often be really unproductive and exchange pictures and gifs, which, while sweet, doesn't really scratch my itch for connection. I'm unapologetically myself. I share the weird and wonderful aspects of my personality, and I open up without spinning to people. And what's really cool is I'm attracting people that do their own thing too. Asana and pranayama have helped me to cultivate play, humour, and a sense of autonomy. That in turn led me to take my first teacher training. And I did what everyone says. Oh, I'm just doing the course because, I just want to deepen my practice and become a better student. Oh no, I don't want to teach or anything. And when people say that to me, I'm like, all right, sure. It's scary doing a teacher training because you have to use it, right? If you've truly felt the benefits of a yoga practice, you are compelled to take it out into the world. Here's a quote from Anaya Nin. There came a time when the risk of remaining tight in the bud was more painful than the risk it took to blossom. There was never actually any doubt in my mind that I was going to be a yoga teacher once I finished my first course. And so I've talked to students about doing their own thing on and off the mat. But what about teachers? Well, they have to stand up. They have to stop using the words of their teachers, stop using the same social media strategies, seeing something that works for one and trying it for themselves. I recently quit a mentoring group because the tutor, whose style I happen to really like, it's beautiful and really distinctive. This tutor was giving feedback on some teachers in the group that she'd observed and basically praised the students who copied her style. They were her acolytes, and it was pretty sad to see that her mentoring encouraged others to adopt her style rather than find their own or their own. That's why when I mentor teachers, I support them to develop their style, to let go of the words and sequences that they've seen and allow their personality to show in their teachings. It's totally fine to borrow bits from people, but it's very apparent when you're teaching stuff that isn't you. Your students can see it, it's inauthentic and a real turn-off. In a world of fake news, filters, and anxiety linked to how many followers you have and engagement levels, now more than ever, we need to create a tribe to do their own thing. So hopefully you're with me.